Hello everybody and welcome to Dynamic GT League's No Boost Series for Race 4 from the Red Bull Ring Grand Prix circuit. As we look at this current standings, joining us on commentary is Ray. How are you, Ray?
I'm doing fandabidosi. How's yourself?
Absolutely great, thank you. Steve F1 probably doing a little bit greater though, seeing as he's leading the way in the standings. Very close. Demon Eye second place. SGP's dropped back a little bit. Conrad, he's had a few races this season that probably should have won. But try to think, did he actually win last week's race?
No, I think
it was Steve F1, wasn't it? At Brands Hatch.
Yeah, the Brands Hatch.
The Brands Hatch ball bag. Yeah, that's the one. Jason and SRI tied. Art Pal, a little bit of a gap to Twilight. Nelly and Jimmy, both unable to race today. They're tied ninth. Critical, unable to race, so he may drop a few places. Actually, Nelly, Jimmy and Critical could all lose places to Gary here. Rich also unable to race today. I think, was there somebody else that wasn't able to race?
No,
yeah, I think that was it. Well,
who are ghosts at the minute?
That they are. Okay, so this circuit, Red Bull Ring, there is a possibility of rain around this circuit, so we're going to have to keep an eye out for that. The drivers are going to have to use both compounds of tyres, dry tyres that is, or a dry and an inter or a wet. Or they can use an inter all the way through or a wet all the way through. But it'll be interesting to see how the tyres cope around this circuit, because there's only like 9 corners, but a few of them are quite punishing, aren't they, Ray?
Yep, you get the Nicky Lauda curve, you go wide there over the sausage, or you could spin, or if you take it too tight, you could spin when the sausage...
Is that turn 1, is it?
Yeah.
I didn't know it was Nicky Lauda's curve. Would you like to take us through the grid?
Yeah, as we can see, Conrad, is that Conrad Paul on hards? Yeah. FGP second on softs. Third is Demon R, he's on the softs too. He went hards last week, I don't think. Fourth was Steve F1 on softs. Fifth SRI on soft. And we've got Jason 6 on softs. And then we have Art Pal, he's on hards in 7th. And Gary on the softs at start. And 8th and 9th we have Twilight on the softs.
That
one on the hards, been at the back.
4 lights, 5 lights, and away they go. Oh, a very slow start for Conrad there. That'll be the hard compound tyre. SGP then takes the lead into the Nicky Lauda curve, if I've just learnt it's called. Yes, he does. Conrad and Demon are side by side. Conrad sideways. Oh, and off the track he goes. Manages to keep facing the right direction, and Demon are slow behind him.
Demon R's lifted off. Was there contact, or did Conrad lose it on the curb? We don't know, but I think Demon R feels he's at fault if he's so down behind him. As Jason and Steve F1 go into Remus side by side.
Remus, bloody hell! Someone's been doing their research. But yeah, so let's see. So Conrad and Demon, they've dropped down to the back. Jason under a bit of pressure now from SRI. Let's see, Jason is on the soft compound tyre. He started on the hards, I believe, last time out. Demon didn't start on the hards at Brands, actually started on the softs. Oh, Jason's car looks like it's lagging around a little bit. And we'll say, Ray, it is looking a bit gloomy. So maybe there is a little bit of moisture in the air.
Yeah, it's looking a wee bit foggy over to the right hand side where the mountains are. So maybe, I don't know which way the weather's coming in, so we'll soon see.
Absolutely, Conrad making the move on Art Pal. Both of them on the hard compound tyre. Now, Conrad did have pole position with a very good lap time, and from what we've seen in the little bit of practice before the race, he's got some fantastic pace. The question for Connor, though, is going to be, can he be consistent? I think over the last year or so, he's really worked on trying to not be or trying to not push as hard to bring in consistency, and we can see some of the clouds in the sky. Although for this championship, yeah, he's been unlucky with the. I mean, last race. Was it last race? He had the consistency, but there was a pit stop error, wasn't there? As Demon R trying to make the move on at Twilight. Both of those on the soft compound tyre.
Yeah, definitely. He had a technical issue with his pit stop, and team put on the wrong tyres, so he had to make an extra pit stop than what he wanted. As Demon R gets past Twilight, I don't know if Twilight was ahead, I think he was, and Demon R's got out, but Demon R on the back of RedBull now. RedBull's on the soft, so the hard, sorry, yeah. Demon R's on the soft, so Demon R just going to have to pick his choose. RedBull looked like he was going to defend there, but he's a little tad wide there. That might give Demon R the run out this corner here.
Absolutely. You're looking at what it's called, yeah. I think Demon R is having a look up the inside into the penultimate corner. That's what that one's called.
Oh, that's called Rind, and final corner's RedBull Mobile. That might move. Interesting
that they have a corner named after famous drivers, and then the last corner is called RedBull. Well, there we go. Gary on the soft compact tyre runs a little bit wide there on the exit of Lauda. He ran over Lauda's sausage. Okay, so Demon R on the soft tyre and Twilight on the soft tyre. With Twilight having a penalty, Twilight having a look up the inside of RedBull, nothing doing there though. I would expect Demon R to get past Conrad here. Oh, Twilight! Oh, he's parked that beautifully. Let's see, SGP leading still. Bit of a gap to Steve F1. Now, regarding the tyres, well, let's see, the soft tyres, well, it looks like it's brightening up a little bit. The soft tyres could potentially do somewhere between 8 and 10 laps. The hard tyres can do a lot of laps. They just aren't as quick as the softs. At least not for about 8 laps. Once the softs have done about 8 laps, then there is the chance that the hards can do a similar lap time. But Demon R here on the soft tyres. Is he going for the move? No, he's not. Tucks back in.
I just try to get Conrad out of line there. A wee bit wide. I don't know how much wide you have to go before you get a penalty, but you need to be careful of that on the exits of the curbs here. As Gary's defending into turn 1 already, but then he's back on the racing line. He's like, I'm going to defend. He's too far back. Let me go back over.
Absolutely. Well, Conrad though, he's had a great exit out of the corner. He opened it up, holding the racing line on entry, and I can't imagine he's really going to try going for a move here. Demon R covering it off though. But yeah, it would be a bit of a risk to try and sort of go outbrake someone when you're on the hard tyre and they're on the soft. It would be a little bit difficult. It doesn't mean though that if you're on the softs and someone else is on the hards, you can just dive bomb them. Yeah. Oh, I thought Gary was just going to squeeze over a little bit too much there. There's not much going on in the front 4 at the moment, Ray. I would guess they're perhaps looking after the tyres. The Demon R looks at making a move into the left-handed.
Yeah, old Gary's a wee bit wide. He wants to watch his. Oh, he was good there. Lucky he never spun on that grass or AstroTurf. I don't know what it is here. It looks like grass.
It did, yeah.
So he was lucky he never spun the rear up there. As we see Jason and SRI, they've been close since the start, and just falling back and catching back up. But SRI's got a bit of a run here. Is he going to have a look into Nicky Lauder curve?
Jason? Well, Jason kind of defended it a little bit, but he's had a poor exit. He got on the apex curb, and it's a feature of these cars. They do not like the apex curb. You get a bit of a wobble on, and if the car behind you hasn't done that, yeah, you can get a great run like SRI has done here. Let's see how they get on under the brakes. I won't be surprised if you see Jason just tuck in behind. Yep, there we go. He'll get a great run though down this straight. Oh, it's on the pack cam. I think Yeah, I think Gary just assisted Demon R wide, but that's allowed Demon R through and Gary through. So I'm guessing Demon R made the move on formerly Gary, but Gary got a little bit late on the brakes. SRI has managed to hold off Jason. And now if SRI's got any pace in those tyres, he's probably going to need to use it now to try and close up to Steve F1 and SGP. I mean, looking at the lap times, 31.1 on SRI's last lap time, which is a really good lap time. I mean, let's see. I mean, the hard tyres, we're probably looking at mid-32s as a really good lap time on the hards. So when the softs start doing mid-32s, you might not want to be on them for very long. But looking at the amount of where... Oh, Jason's going for the pits!
Is he trying to get an undercut on SRI?
Oh, you know what? He might...
Can the tyres last 23... Is it 23, 22, 23 laps?
Well, the soft tyres can't. The hard tyres might. I mean, it'd be a bloody long stint, but I was about to say, though, looking at
Jason's
the...
on soft still. Is he coming out of the pits yet? No, he's still in the pits. I'll keep an eye on that if he's still in the timing.
Yeah, so looking at the amount of wear that the front runners haven't got at the moment, and we're already on lap 6, the tyres are looking great for a fair few more laps, so Jason has pitted early. And interestingly, Conrad, on the hard tyre, has closed in on the back of Demon R, who is on those soft compound tyres. Art Powell hit sideways, oh, nearly does a Twilight. We're going to have to be careful getting going again. So yeah, here we are then. So Demon R's got plenty of life in the tyres, but his last, well, 3 of his last 4 laps have been in the 32s, which means Conrad is also in the 32s.
Yeah, then do you think Demon R pushed it out? Look, there's Conrad tyre, 32, 33, 32, 32. Do you think Demon R might have cooked these tyres a wee bit? But he's pulling away now, so he might have been in a cool down lap maybe. Maybe.
It did look like he got a little bit of understeer in the middle of the S's there, so I think he may have pushed them a little bit too hard, perhaps thinking...
Yeah, but he was wide with Gary, remember?
Oh,
that
yeah.
would have affected as well.
True, yeah, having a bit of dirt on the top. Conrad had a big tank slapper there. And let's see what Conrad's lap time is. 31.6! Oh my goodness. No wonder he's keeping up with Demon R. Although he's lost a bit of time on the exit. You know what, if he didn't have that bad exit on the final corner there, it'd have been even quicker.
Yeah, and that was on the hards. So see, who's this? RedBull was in the 33s, 34. We've seen he had that spin, that was his 140. Jason with his pit. And what one's his pit? Why did he get a 139 and a 147?
Because he pitted.
Alright, so it could, okay.
Yeah, you were keeping an eye on what tyres he was going on to.
Softs.
Yeah, well, thank you for that information. Okay, so Jason then pitting for the softs means he is going to have to pit again. I mean, something we should mention with weather or inclement weather being a possibility here. Art Powell and Connor starting on the hards could be an absolute dream if everybody on the softs pits and then rain comes. Because that would really benefit people that are on the hard tyre now. Although if it rains before people get rid of the softs, it won't help them at all. As Jason having a little look up the inside. Oh, Powell sideways! Oh, a little bit of contact there as on the pack cam. SGP still leading the way. Formerly Gary's punished his tyres a little bit. Or has he? I mean, well, you know what?
I think his tyres are okay.
Yeah, that's
for 7 laps.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Yeah, the laps go quickly here, and yeah, so he's doing all right. Be interesting to see what Jason can do. See, not a lot happening. Yeah, so looking at SGP's tyres, I think he's got a bit more wear than Gary actually.
He's in 130. He's done, and then 132s. What's Steve F1? Steve F1 looks like he's closed up a wee bit from last time I've seen him.
You're absolutely right, he has, and actually it looks like SRI may not be, well, it may be closing the gap a bit on SGP because
Steve F1 constant 131 minutes to high.
Ooh, just had a big wobble though, but yeah, his lap time's very good there. I wonder if he had that big wobble because he just got closer to SGP there, perhaps lost a little bit of the downforce. But what's interesting, I mean, SGP's heading to the pits. So Steve F1's been doing consistent high 138s and Conrad on a hard tyres done a 31.6. Oh, Jason up the inside and Gary side by side. They go, Gary goes a little wide and Jason gets through. I think Jason's on brand new soft tyres. Gary's are a little bit worn. Will we see him?
Aggressive there.
Well, I only saw it one side, up alongside, but yeah. I mean, here's an interesting question for you. Obviously, in this championship, we've got different compounds of tyres. If someone is on a hard compound tyre and the car behind them is on a soft compound tyre, does that give the guy on the soft tyre the right to just go for an overtake anywhere?
And he's got to make it safely as possible.
He needs to get his Johnnies out.
Yeah, he's got to keep it sugar coated as well.
Absolutely. Okay, so Gary's lap times, have been very consistent apart from, I think the lap where he nudged Demonar a little bit. So yeah, 33 is very good. I mean, this is one of the things we talked a bit about at the start of the championship. For some of the drivers a little bit further down the championship, they're not going to have lap times as quick as the people leading the races. But what is sort of the aim for them is just to try and get that consistency. If you can get consistency, lap time will come to you naturally. So Conrad, not only has he done a 31.6, he's also done a 31.888. Other betting companies are out there. But you know what, at the moment, given he's hardly got any tyre wear, Conrad's going to be passing Demonar soon, I think.
It looks like he's starting to catch back up to Demonar, so is this going to be the crossover as SRI's in the pits? So are we at the crossover stage of the hards and the softs?
Well, I think we might. I mean, Conrad has comfortably, and he is closing that gap a little bit as SGP, having pitted a lap ago. He's on the hard compound tyre, and SRI, having done the extra lap on the softs, has closed the gap a little bit. And that'll be because SGP's hard compound tyres for that first lap are not very warm. And don't have a lot of grip. So for SRI, he's got that to come now. Jason, he's kind of brought himself into this a little bit, but he does have the other tyre compound to run. He still needs to use the hards. Don't know what tyres SRI is on at the moment. As we look at Connor. His last lap was a 30. He is, isn't he? See, I'd be interested to see what Demonar's lap times are, to see whether they have sort of consistently been in the 32s. I don't think he'd have been in the 31s, otherwise he'd have opened up the gap a little bit. So let's see, what else have we got going on out there? Not a lot at the moment. I think Twilight, with his spin early on, is down at the back. Conrad's lap time 31. Bloody hell, someone called the fire brigade. Yeah. Okay, Demonar's tyres. Yeah, looking at it, so he has had a couple of 31s. The last few have been 32s. But so now we've got Demonar on tyres that are losing their grip, and Conrad on tyres that are technically slower but have plenty of grip and are going to start being quicker now. So I think Demonar is going to have to look at pitting very, very soon, especially given that SRI and Steve F1 SGP have already pitted.
Do you think Demonar's left that a
Jason.
lap too late?
Oh, Jason! I think that was a little bit too late on SRI there. I think that might have been the case of softs versus hards. Jason led an SRI back through. Sorry, what was you saying now? I cut you off a little bit.
Do you think Demonar's left it maybe a lap too late and he might lose time through that corner, but he's still holding on, going in the right direction? Conrad, is that going to give him a penalty? That was
Oh,
It's on the curb.
I think Demon R might have been indicating there that he may be heading to the pits. Yeah, that he is. Yep. I mean, has he pitted a lap too late? It'll be interesting. It depends, because he was a long way off SGP and SRI with waiting for Conrad at the start. So it'll be interesting to see what the gap is. Also to see what lap times the likes of SRI has done this time around. As runs a little bit wide, but should be okay with that. Don't want to run too wide here. I mean, interestingly, the car does handle quite nicely. So SRI's done a 133. Demon R's last lap probably would have been in the 32s. So I reckon he's coming out of the pits now. Yeah, so I reckon he may have been still going a touch quicker, but I don't think he could have gone an extra lap. Steve F1 though has gone an extra lap, so it'd be interesting to see where he comes out and what tyre he's going to go onto. Surely he's going to be onto the hard compound tyre, but there may be a chance of him overcutting SGP, because he was right behind SGP when SGP pitted, and since then, as RedBull and Gary get close on the pack count, since then SGP's on the slower hard compound tyre. I would guess doing around 133s, because SRI hasn't really sort of dropped away from him. RedBull looking at making that move, is he? Not quite. Yes, he is. Oh, little touch.
And also, we've seen how close SRI got to SGP when he overcut.
Yes,
SGP with 1 lap.
Yeah.
So how many has Steve F1 done? He's done another, what, 2, 3?
Easily. Conrad's last lap was 32.8. Yeah, Steve F1 is. Well, SGP pitted 8, end of 8. I think so, about 4 laps. SGP's last few lap times, 32.8, 33.5. Now with the hard compound tyre, I mean, the lap time should come down, as we saw with Conrad, as the drivers get more confident with them.
As Steve F1's moving, he's at the corner as well. Where is it?
He's there.
He's there.
Oh, okay. So he didn't gain loads, but he gained enough to get ahead. SGP's looking at making the move though. He's got the racing line. Get hard on those brakes. Steve F1 up the inside though.
Tyres is Steve F1 on. He's got to get them heated up as well.
You know, he had a hell of a lot of grip out of turn 2 there. I mean, normally on the inside, I mean, we've seen RedBull and Twilight both spin there. Lighting up the rears. Now for SGP, he'll be thinking, okay, Steve F1's got to get those tyres up to temperature. I've got a chance to get ahead of him now. Jason having a little look up the inside of SRI, nothing doing there. But you know what, on the pack up, Steve F1's opening that gap up. SRI defending, go on.
Because how's he managed to heat up his SRI a wee bit wide round that corner? Might give Jason the run. Heat up his tyres that quick if he's on the hards. We don't know what he's on, but presuming he's not, he'd go for like a 1-stop. But by the sounds of what SRI and SGP are doing, but we never know.
Well, we will know when we go aboard with him. So Jason, interestingly, hasn't been able to make a move on SRI, and that's because Jason's soft tyres are very, very old. So they're not going to be that much faster than SRI's hard compound tyre. So I don't think Jason can really. Yes, he's not been able to get a good exit there. I wouldn't mind seeing Jason's level of tyre wear actually. God, sure. I meant Jason.
Yeah, I thought we didn't realise we went to SGP, but SRI 133s for SRI since it's went on the hards. Is SGP caught up a wee bit to Steve F1 there? It looked like it.
Code Brown. It did look like SGP had closed in a bit on Steve F1, but I'm not sure. And there's Demon R. So Demon R is closing the gap as Jason, having a look up the inside. SRI covers it off. And nowhere for Jason to go at this time. Yeah, I think Jason's struggling a little bit for front end grip, especially being, yeah, so look at his tyres. Yeah, they've maybe got one more lap in them. Probably wouldn't want to do two, but also, I mean, for Jason, he'd be better off, I think, getting onto the hards. Oh, wow! It's like watching NASCAR at COTA.
And they're going to get a penalty. Jason's got a penalty. We don't know about SRI.
Gary.
Yeah.
Gary's done
Jesus
14 laps on one set of... Oh, is he...
Tom.
Oh, is that going to allow him in the pits? I hope so. Yes, he is in the pit lane. I mean, it was a late entry. I would not be surprised if he has got a penalty for that. Conrad, though, now leading the race and doing comfortably mid-32s. And to be fair, he's got so much life left in those tyres. He can just keep going because the cars behind him, they're on the hard tyres, so they're not going to catch up. I mean, we saw Steve F1 do, 12 laps on the softs? So Conrad could potentially pit with 12 laps to go. But obviously, the less laps left, the more he can use the tyre. And
the majority of
Steve F1's on the softs.
He's oh, that's why.
That's why that gap's appeared, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I wonder if SGP knows.
Wow. Oh, yeah, SRI did get a penalty as well as Jason for the final corner. Unfortunately, on the previous lap. Penultimate corner. Jason heading to the pits as Demon R comes through. Okay, so this is interesting. So, go on.
What's Steve F1? He's got to put again, so that's going to... And then he's got to go on the hards, hasn't he?
Yeah, Steve F1 needs to open up a 21 second gap to SGP before he puts the hard tyres on.
That might be a bit questionable. We've seen about 1 to 2 seconds a lap, roughly.
Yeah, but they're saying that. I mean, we saw with when Conrad was behind Demon R was not pulling away. Now, Steve F1 has done a 31.9 and a 31.5. It'd be interesting to see what lap times SGP is doing. So Conrad's still doing the mid-32s. So Steve F1 is only going about 7 or 8 tenths faster than... I don't think it's enough, because he's only going 7 or 8 tenths faster than Conrad. I don't know what lap times SGP is doing at the moment, as we see Twilight here has a bit of a battle ahead of him with Formula Gary. He's currently on the soft compound tyre. I believe Twilight has used the hards already. Gary, though, obviously did 14 laps on the softs, so I would guess he's going to go to the end on the hards, unless he doesn't like them, and decides to get rid of them. But I think with that kind of thing, though...
I don't know if Twilight's used the hards already, if he's... We're lap 16 and his softs are like that. I think he's done a double soft stint.
Maybe. You could be absolutely right. Yeah, I mean, if he'd have done eight laps or so, yeah, you might be right there, Ray. I sit corrected. And that is sit, not the other word. Oh, he's run a bit wide. That may be a penalty, that one. It would suggest as well, yeah, a bit of understeer creeping in, and he has got that penalty. But yeah, so for Steve F1, I don't think he's going to have the lap time available to open up that gap on SGP. But also, Conrad, where is he going to come out? Because him and Steve F1 have got another pit stop to do, so Steve F1's going to be behind Conrad regardless.
So how far ahead is Conrad? That's a question. If he's flying, if he's doing the one, what's he doing? 130 ones, twos?
Yeah.
Is he doing 132s, and he was keeping up with Demon R? I reckon it's going to be close at the end here.
Well, absolutely. Because I mean, I actually think that Conrad is probably opening the gap to SGP SRI and Demon R at the moment. It's formerly Gary. He's on his... Now, interestingly, Gary on his hard compound tyre, his last lap was a 34.8. He was doing 34s towards the end of his stint on the soft. So the hard's actually working quite nicely for Gary. But one of the things you'll probably know, Ray, and some drivers may have to realise is when you've been using the soft compound tyre and then you go to the hard compound tyre, it can feel like that hard compound tyre has got no grip.
And then it also depends on the driver's style of driving and whatnot. Some people like the hards compared to the softs. Maybe they overheat the softs because they're more sensitive and compared to their driving styles as well. So some drivers may prefer the hards and may go faster on the hards. What's that part? He's on the hards, he's doing 130. He's kind of doing... Is he been on the hards all this time, or
yes.
is
he started on the hards, yeah.
So he's doing 133s. It's nice to... Once they change to the softs, it'd be nice to see his lap times and we can kind of judge what they're comfortable on. As we've got Yorkshire T in the pits, Conrad's in the pits.
Yeah, so Conrad going for a 10-lap stint at the end. Now, Conrad probably won't know what tyre Steve F1 is currently on, but surely he would have seen the gap coming down a little bit, which would have made Conrad think either Steve F1 is rapid on the hards or he's on another set of softs. But yeah, so where is I think Conrad's going to come out somewhere around...
He's moving now.
I think he's going to come out somewhere around Demon R, because he was behind Demon R when Demon R pitted for the hards, and he's ahead of Demon R.
So he's made up like, what, four car lengths?
Easily. Oh, Demon R, is he going to have a look? No, opts not to go for it. I bet that's because he knows that Conrad's on the soft tyre. I mean, he could have gone for that, but what's it going to do? Cost them both time. Whereas, in the championship, I suppose for Demon R...
as fast as up further than he can be the now, so he's hoping Conrad will give him the slipstream, because SRI is too far back from SGP to get the slipstream, so if Demon R's getting the slipstream from Conrad, there'll be a wee bit of dirty air, but if Demon R can keep it, Demon R might be on the back of SRI, and that brings him up to what, fourth? Conrad will be for, especially if he's on the softs.
Well, Conrad's having a look at SRI into the penultimate corner. Side by side they go. Oh, SRI touch wide, but they're just about all right there. So Conrad then making the move. Is SRI going to try and capitalise here? Let's see. He's having a look, but the exit of this corner is going to be interesting because Conrad on those soft tyres should be able to get a much better exit than SRI. Yeah, so you see the gap has already opened up. SRI might get that slipstream, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Now, technically, right, Conrad only needs to pass SGP and he'll be in the lead of the race.
Yeah, because Steve F1 still got... How far Steve F1 up the field?
He's just headed into turn 3 now. Yeah, so he's opened up a good gap, but I don't think it's enough. It's probably, I mean, he did what, 12 laps on his first stint, so maybe he'll do another 12, which would leave him 4 laps to do on the hard tyre. The problem he'll have, though, is when he gets on that hard tyre, he probably will not be able to go faster than SGP, SRI or Demon R, who are on the soft tyre. He'll also have Artpal on the soft tyre closing in on him. So Conrad then, he was rapid on the hards. He's going to be a little bit quicker on the softs.
Yep.
SGP.
Side by side around the final corner.
Now the SGP went wide at the penultimate. He went in a bit deep by the looks of it.
But SGP's fine. This is going to cost him lap time, so SRI and Demon R could potentially get on the back of SGP here.
Could
But
do.
now SGP is going to have to slipstream. Is SRI close enough for slipstream?
Maybe. So we saw a quick glimpse of Steve F1 there. His lap times are now into the 32s, so he's potentially not going to be gaining any more lap time. Twilight on his racing hards now. He's been on them for a couple of laps, so he's hardly got anywhere on them. It's a bit of a shame for Twilight that with that spin early on, because it kind of has put him actually only just ahead of Steve F1 on the road at the moment.
Yeah, that was an unfortunate spin, but it's good to see that they keep going when they've had mistakes and whatnot. That the drivers are keep going, because we know it can get frustrating or boring if you're not close to someone and you're just going round in laps and laps. But it's nice to see that the drivers are still going in the race, because anything can happen.
Absolutely.
We've got how many laps to go? 7?
7 more laps to go. And I also... I thought he was going a little slow there. Demon Ard just served a penalty, I believe. But we have got this sort of battle brewing a little bit now. SRI closing in to the back of SGP. Yeah, I think Demon Ard has served a penalty. He's dropped off a little bit. Conrad, though, he's gone. He's already out of screenshot. We may see him momentarily. Nope, he's gone. Steve F1 still hasn't pitted yet. I mean... one of the things I think it is fair to say, and if you can hear squeaking, apologies, it's my chair. For our normal races, obviously we have boosts. So unfortunately for us, someone is in the pits. That's Art Pal. Is that Art Pal finally getting rid of his hard compound tyre?
It must be. Yeah, it's Art Pal. It's in. Yeah, that's his hearts. He's went in his hearts.
Or is he already pitted? Is he done?
I don't. No, he started on the hearts.
Okay.
He's put them 22 laps. And then if the drivers that pitted on lap 10, what does that gives him 10?
No, you know what? Art Pal pitted a lap ago, and he's just gone back in the pits.
Has he done a Conrad?
I think he's done a Conrad, because I was wondering how he's ended up, no offence to Formula Gary, but I was wondering how he's ended up behind Formula Gary from just doing one pit stop. Because I mentioned a minute ago that Steve F1 will have to be aware of Art Pal catching him up on the softs. But, yes, I think Art Pal's done he's had a Connor. I think that's what he was saying. Oof.
And it's a mistake at times.
Yeah, so lap 20 and 21, he pitted at the end of 20. That's why that's a slow lap time. 21 was a slow lap time, but it was doubly slow because he ended up going back in the pits. He's done a double hard. It's painful.
Yeah, that's because he was going to be ahead of Gary, wasn't he? So I don't know where he was with Jason, so he might have caught Jason, I don't know.
Quite possibly. I mean, yeah.
On board in the pack cam, I can't see Demon Art.
Yes,
like
it is Demon Art. So Gary actually is into the pit. So interestingly, Gary, having ran the soft tyre for 14 laps, has used the hard tyre for 7 laps and he's getting rid of them. So I would guess Gary didn't like the hard compound tyre. I mean, there is a big difference in how the two tyre compounds kind of need to be driven. The hard compound, it isn't capable of braking as late as the softs. So yeah, you kind of have to account for that. But also, as you said, with different... Oh, we've got a battle here, Gary and Twilight. With different driving styles, as you said, some people will prefer one tyre over another. Oh, that's
Gary's on his... Gary's on the softs and Twilight's on the hard, so let's see. Twilight's got a run on Gary here. The slipstream, can we get the slipstream?
He's trying.
Demon R's on the back of SRI.
What I was going to mention, Twilight's just given Gary a bit of a nudge up the arse end into turn 3. We just saw Twilight's lap times for a moment, and he was doing sort of 33s, 34s on the hard tyre, and Gary on the softs was doing 33s, 34s. So that could be a very interesting battle. That being for 8th and 9th place at the moment. Artpal may have been hoping to have a bit of a battle with Gary, but with Gary pitting, not to be. So Steve F1 then, he's got to be pitting this lap. If you look at his last 4, mid to low 32, so great lap times. But here's Connor, been doing mid to low 31s.
And he's sort of, yeah. I
mean, interesting. You know what? Connor had almost caught Steve F1. Steve F1's in the pits now. So if Connor didn't know that Steve F1 needed to pit again, I don't think he would have been concerned, because he was catching him rapidly. About a second a lap for the last 4 laps, 5 laps anyway. Okay, so we've got this battle here then for 2nd place, and given the championship standings, which is Steve F1 leading, this result might hurt Steve F1 a little bit. For SGP, I think he was about 7 points off Steve F1 and about 6 points off Demon R. So if it stays as it is, it will help him. SRI is a few points behind Conrad. Tied with Jason, so it will help SRI in that battle. So yeah, let's see what can happen. So tyre wear wise, well, interestingly, SGP pitted first out of these 3, so may have a little more wear than the 2 behind.
Yeah, quite possibly could be it, but SRI's on the back of him now, so this is going to be interesting. We've got, what, 3 laps to go?
Yeah.
Ish.
Yeah, this one and 3 laps. I tell you what has been interesting though, with no boost, Connor and Demon R got themselves right back into this race. Conrad's made that hard stint work beautifully. SRI's right up the rear end of SGP. Demon R's right up the rear end of SRI. This could get very close. Well, I'm going to say could get very close, but none of these guys have really got a tyre advantage in any way, shape or form. Is Demon R going to have a look? Is he going to go for it? No, he's not. A bit wide.
That's alright. Defender. He just stayed on the racing line. But he's got a run on SGP now. So Demon R's, it looks like he's got a run on SRI as well. It's like the slipstream's just helping these two. SRI having a little look. Oh, he's nearly went into him.
Got a bit deep. Oh, got a bit of an overlap. Oh, I think there may have been a tiny little touch there as SGP survives. I mean, it did look like SRI had a decent little run on SGP there. Let's see what happens down the hill to turn 3. Oh, Demon R! Oh, that was a bit of a late one. I don't know if it was an attempt of an overtake. Is he? I think he's backed off.
Yeah, it looks like he's backed off because they were kind of side by side all the way through there, and SRI's got a little bit of a gap that they've dropped back from SGP's. SRI's wide there. Yeah. Be careful.
Okay, on the pack cam, that's Conrad leading the race. Got Twilight just ahead of him, or it might be formerly Gary. No, it is Twilight. So Twilight dealing with the blue flags there. But yeah, this has just given SGP a little bit of a breather, hasn't it? I mean, interesting.
Catching back up to him, so within a few corners.
Yeah,
is he struggling on their hearts?
I will maybe. It's possible, you know, that when Steve F1 came out of the pits, he may have pushed his hards a little bit too hard, not realising that Steve F1 was on the soft tyre. I mean, tyre wear wise, SGP's fine. Lap times has been consistently sort of 33s, which, I mean, we saw Connor doing low 32s and even dipping into the 31s. Demon R's been doing 32s apart from the last couple of laps. Yes, I wonder if SGP, because I know Demon R did it at Monza, didn't realise that a car behind him was on the soft tyre, and when that car overtook and just disappeared into the distance, wondered why he couldn't keep up with them.
And it was SRI?
It was SRI on a soft compound tyre.
Oh, SRI was right. Oh, he's taking a late apex there. Is it going to help him?
Maybe. Now, it'd be interesting to know what Steve F1's lap. Oh, SRI! Oh dear! Oh, that's a big tank slapper. And Steve F1 is actually going to be coming round the corner. We may have reversed a bit too far there. Got it in the kitty litter. There is Steve F1, who is on the hard compound tyre. Is SRI going to be safe from behind? Yeah, Jason is too far back. Steve F1's got a penalty though. So Steve F1's first proper timed lap on the hards was a 32, and we're on to the final lap of the race already.
32.7 for DMR. What was SGP's time? Because DMR's close to SGP.
Very close, and I am hearing as well that we saw Jason and Artpal, with Artpal getting very sideways earlier on in the race. A report has been placed on that, so we will see the result of that a little bit later on. Demon Art, he had a good exit with a tank slapper, but actually he's still got a good run here. Oh, SGP goes defensive. Okay, you can try round the outside here, but you have to be aware that car on the inside may get a little bit of understeer, and Demon R, I think, was aware of that. So not quite side by side, but the battle's still on. And in a way, I mean, Demon R doesn't really need to force this as Twilight pulls out of the way. I mean, regarding the championship standings, I mean, it's no problem for Demon R to finish behind SGP. He's got a great run through the S's on the pack cam as Conrad. He's absolutely battered those tyres, but he did great lap times as the pack cam still getting feisty. A little bit of switching. Conrad takes the victory side by side round the penultimate corner. Can they make it through the final corner?
Did SGP break a wee bit early and it caught Demon R out there a wee bit?
I don't know, but Demon R with a switchback across the line takes that second place. SGP third, Steve F1. He couldn't make the gap, but he'll finish in fourth. SRI was doing a great job until that penultimate lap. Fifth place for him. Jason on those hard compound tyres wasn't that far away from SRI. Sixth place for him. Artpal, let's see, he's finished on the soft tyre, and looking at his tyre wear, he probably could have pitted earlier. Oh no, sorry, he did pit earlier, didn't he?
Yeah, but he put on the wrong compound.
Yes. He's just picked up a penalty as well. Now Twilight has already crossed the line, with him unfortunately getting lapped a little bit there. So Artpal's actually best lap time was a 31.5. Pretty good lap time there on the soft compound tyre. He's going to cross the line in seventh place. And then we've got Formula Gary, who, look at that, Gary. It's been in the 31s on these soft tyres. And actually, not just that, look, it's 31.9, 31.9, 31... Was he on pause?
Oh, I don't know, was it?
No, he wasn't. Any driver that can do consistent lap times within 1/10 of a second of each other is doing well. It doesn't necessarily mean they've got great racecraft, because that's not what lap times means. But that's what I was mentioning about earlier with the consistency. You bring consistency, lap times will come. So well done to Gary there. And I wouldn't be surprised as well if going from the hard tyre, going from the softs to the hards, didn't like the hards, went back to the softs, probably felt like he was driving a completely different car. So yeah, really good there from Gary. But we'll say fantastically well done to Conrad there. I mean, without that bit of a moment earlier on in the race, I mean, God knows how the race could have gone. But if Conor would have had no incidents, he'd have been long gone, I think, in that race, because his pace on those hard tyres at the start was ridiculous.
Yeah, he was. He was the hard tyres. He was keeping up with kind of the soft tyre pace. Not that far off. Like, we seen it, he was behind Demon R and he was he wasn't really losing time to Demon R, and then he's went to the softs at the end. It's gave him the better we say the better tyre, the better grip, and once you know everybody else is on the hards and you're on the softs at the end, you know you're going to be making up some sort of time. And as we've seen, Steve F1 could only make what 7/10 of a difference on Conrad. Like he just locked in with this car. The tyres by the seat, by the looks of it.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the thing. Starting on the soft tyre, I mean, you would hope to try and open up enough of a gap to pit and come out ahead of those on the hard tyre, or be really close to them, so that when they pit, you've got a big advantage. But that just wasn't the case in this race today, when everybody else had pitted. I mean, when it came to Connor doing his pit stop, I mean, he slotted in right between SRI and Demon R, and SGP was only just in front of them. And had Steve F1 had done soft and hards, actually, if Steve F1 had put the hard tyre on, when he come out the pits, chances are SGP would have been ahead of him, so there would have been 4 cars there on hard compound tyres. And Conrad, when he pitted, would have come out, slotted right in between them, and yeah, would have had a fairly comfortable stint at the end. So you're absolutely right, he has properly locked in on this car. We'll see if he can carry that on at the next race. We'll have a look at what track that is in a second. With the confirmed race result in the championship standings, I'll get to that in a few moments time, because there's some stewarding that needs to be sorted out with that, so we don't have that information or the points and everything right now to deal with. So we might as well talk about the next race, Ray, and we'll find out if we think if Connor's going to be quick there as well.
Watkins Glen. I think it's the full circuit. Yeah, it's a full circuit.
Wow. Okay, Watkins Glen, so different to this circuit. Temperatures will be high. One of the features I'd heard about around the Red Bull Ring was that the soft tyres never really got up to any kind of decent temperature. However, they still worked very well. But that might be why there wasn't a massive lap time difference between the softs and the hards. So Connor was doing, he dipped into the 31s on the hards, and on the softs, I think he was low 31s. I can't remember if he did any 30s. Whereas at somewhere like Watkins Glen, the soft tyres are going to fire up very quickly. Now, is that going to be a benefit? We'll find out. Are the hard tyres, are they going to cope with that hotter temperature? But also, Ray, are they going to cope with the brutal, long right-hand corner after the bus stop chicane?
Well, I think the softs might overheat too much for that corner. So, could it be a hard tyre track?
It could be. Or could it be you could probably go round that right-hander quite quick for a couple of laps, but you will heat up your tyre, and then for the next few laps you won't be able to get anywhere near that pace through there. Or do you look after your tyre through there? I mean, maybe that's what could make it a hard tyre track. If the softs have to be looked after, it could make them slower.
Yeah, sorry, I was taking a drink.
It's all right.
Yeah. That I think going round that long right-hander is going to be kind of a decision maker of the tyre, because if I feel it might overheat the front left that little bit too much, and it is a right-hand kind of turning circuit, so I don't know how many lefts and rights are. I didn't look that up. I'll check that next week. But if it's more right hand corners, that front left's going to get punished, and we're going to see a offset, especially on the softs.
Yeah.
The hards, it might be a wee bit more easier to control. If it's warm there, it might be cloudy, and that could save the softs. But yeah, I'm not too sure. I think we might be looking maybe for the first time a hard tyre dependent track.
Quite possibly. I mean, something to mention as well for the drivers: be very, very careful of the pit entry. It is before the final corner, and it is very narrow and very tight. So just be aware of that. I wouldn't want you getting a penalty. Excuse me, for being in the pit lane and then dipping out of it in the middle of the final corner. Especially if you've got worn tyres. I mean, we saw with Gary today, he wanted the pits, but with no front left tyre, the car just doesn't slow down or turn.
No, he went to Timbuktu.
That he did.
And also, another point on the pit entry, yeah, it's on the apex, so the car, if you're behind a car, you're going to have to be a wee bit cautious of a car going slow around that corner, because if you smash them out of that pit lane, then
you're probably getting a penalty.
yeah, that's what I'm about to say. You might be in the steward's office getting a scalp.
You know, one way to look at it would probably be if there is a car in the pit entry, then your apex goes from the curb where it normally is to your apex is now the yellow line. So yeah, you have to give that space. I mean, I think we had. I think I actually hit Connor up the arse end there. I hit someone up the arse end. Might have been you actually. It's very easily done, but yeah. So drivers, be careful like that. But
yeah, if you've got like a hazard button mapped, or the little right indicator button, maybe flick that on, and maybe people will be like, right, he's going for the pits. You don't want to do it too soon, because then they know what you're doing, so do it as you hit the pit lane, and that way.
I mean, that's the thing, you kind of want to do it in a way that lets them know what you're doing, but without letting them know what you're doing. But yeah, it's a bit like with this circuit today. I mean, it used to be, I think it still is in F1, the pit entry started before the final corner, and I did prefer that, because it meant that you had to go all the way over to the right before the penultimate corner, and anyone around you would know, okay, they're going to the pit, so I've got to give them room. Whereas what we have here, there isn't that. Me personally, sometimes will show to the right before the penultimate corner to kind of indicate that I'm going to be going for the pits. And the reason for that is that even if you are all the way over to the left hand side before the penultimate corner, you still have to slow down a lot more than you normally would to make the pit entry. And if the car behind you doesn't realise that you're pitting, they could ram you up the arse end. And okay, yes, it would be their fault, but if it means that you end up facing the wrong direction, then it's costly to yourself, isn't it? Now, what would be cheeky is to dummy the entry and then go around the penultimate corner as fast as you can and not pit, and see if the person behind leaves you a bit of space. But anyway, right, well, in a moment we'll get on to the conference race result, the championship standings. Is there anything else that you want to mention before we head off, Ray?
I don't know, am I supposed to? I'm not too sure if I'm supposed to. I hate it when you ask that question, because I can't remember if we've discussed something.
It's always genuinely just, is there anything else you want to mention? It isn't that there is something that you should mention.
Yeah, just thank you, drivers.
I know. Hang on, I know what to mention. Sorry to cut you off. Right, GT7, you're absolutely bloody awful. We want rain available on all circuits. We want Donington Park, otherwise we're giving up. We want Silverstone, or as it's named on another game, Northampton. What else do we want to slag them off about?
We want more up-to-date racing cars.
Yep.
We want a HUD for VR user.
Yep, that's exactly what yep. You know what? We want HUD adjustability for everybody. Allow us to position the HUD stuff wherever we want on the screen that works best for us. Because if you use the view where you can see the bonnet, it means you can never have a white bonnet.
I know.
And
every time I used that bonnet view, SUP would make sure there was fucking white in my braking mark.
Yep. Yep. Also, allow the mirror on every camera view. Even VR, because if it makes them feel sick, that's great. Anything else you want to? Yes.
Force in car view.
Yeah, give us the option to force in car view. Give us actually on GT Sport. When you're in a lobby, you're able to click on any driver and see what tyres they've got on, see what assists they've got on, see what power and brake horse they're running and weight they're running. Give us that option back again, please. Also, there was something else. Okay. DRS on circuits, so that if there's a car where there's an overtake button that activates DRS, it is only available at certain points on the track, rather than us having to hold a button all the time for DRS.
Also, the weather, make it maybe like live weather for maybe that day or that week on the track, because every time we want to do we get a wet practice, but we never get a wet fucking race.
Yeah. Now, I have raced in the league many years ago, where on PC, where it was in one of the championships, it was live weather, which was really good because it meant you could look at the forecast for a week before the race and you could potentially prepare for it. I mean, yeah, being able to have an idea of not necessarily knowing what the weather's going to be, but having an idea of what it might be. So at the moment, like this race today, there's a potential chance that it could rain. But once we actually get to the qualifying, we have no idea what it's going to do at any point. Other than once we've done quali, we know that that's going to be the first 10 minutes of the race. After that, we've no idea. Now, it's good that nobody knows, because nobody has an advantage, but it's also not good because you can't really plan anything. So if you think, start on the soft and I'll push and do a nice short stint, you could do that, pit, 2 laps later, rain comes, your race is ruined.
Yeah.
But if you knew that there may be rain in the area, you may be more tempted to go, you know what, I'll take a gamble on the hard compound tyre. And I think a few drivers have kind of done that in this championship, where they've thought, you know what, I'll start on the hards, because if it does rain, I should be further into the race. But yeah, anyway, that's my view. But yeah, live weather, bring that. What else? Tyre colours. So we can see, just from looking at the tyre wall, whether someone's on softs, hards, inters or wets.
And the choice of grid girls or grid boys.
Here's another one, right? So I do the media stuff, right, for DGT. I do the videos, I do the race winners picture, I do the thumbnails and all that. Not one of the camera angles at any of the circuits gives a good angle of a car at the checkered flag. So when the checkered flag's waving, if you pause it anywhere near there and you want to get a picture of the car with a checkered flag, there is not a single good camera, like pre-set camera. How they've done that, I don't know, because me personally, I would make sure that from the preset camera angles, well, you know what, let's put one or two near the checkered flag, so if people want to take pictures there, it'll work. But no, there's nothing. Every image is from a long distance. It looks terrible. What else is there? Yes, okay, here's one for me. The option to position live cameras. Do you know what that means?
And replays, or
Kind of, yeah.
and
So
not in the
basically,
race, though.
well, so that when we go to watch the replay to do the footage, right? You could choose. Okay, I would like a camera on the inside of turn 1 at Red Bull Ring that sees the cars come up the main straight and follows them through turn 1 and then up the hill. Or I might want a camera in a specific point on a circuit to get a really good camera angle. So we've done some race footage before. Daytona's one, where there's some really high camera angles that show a hairpin or something and it looks brilliant. But something where you could go, right, okay, I'd like to position a camera here and choose its field of view to give us different camera angles at different places, because some of the camera angles on some of the circuits aren't great, but it would be good if you could perhaps move them.
Yeah, because all you see is a brake caliper for 10 seconds.
Yep. Trying to anything else? No. Oh, full timing tower on the left hand side of all of the cars that are on the track, not just 8.
With splits, with the splits.
Yes, time gaps between them. Yep. And if anyone's wondering why we've been going on about this for 7 minutes, it's because last race video we absolutely slated GT7 about not bringing out any new tracks and not bringing out any new cars, and then a couple of days later they've announced that they are bringing a new update and bringing 2 new tracks and 8 new cars. Now, I know the cars aren't new, but I do believe one of them is the Ferrari race car that Verstappen has recently raced in. There's an old F1 car that looks like a Benetton from Schumacher's era or Johnny Herbert's era. There's a Mines Skyline, which people might think, oh, fucking another Skyline. A Mines Skyline is something very different. It's another level. I don't think if it is a Skyline. Yeah, it is. Mines also do Mitsubishi Evos. I'm hoping that some of the other cars are going to be race cars as well. I really do hope so. But yeah, Montreal and I know you said San Marino.
Not kill.
Yeah, let's have Knock Hill, please. Actually, Knock Hill, not a bad track. Snetterton. It's not. Is it Abu Dhabi? No. Yes.
The one with the ball, the sphere?
No, that's Miami. Yeah, it's
No,
Abu Dhabi. It is
Abu Dhabi's got.
Yeah.
Got one. Has it got one?
Abu Dhabi doesn't have a sphere. Abu Dhabi's got the Ferrari.
The lights gone and whatnot.
Yeah, I know it's a night. It's a twilight race, isn't it? Where Michael Massey screwed over Lewis Hamilton. That one. I was trying to think, why am I thinking San Marino? There's something.
No,
Abu
Dhabi was where. No, Michael, no.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, so I mean, don't get me wrong. I love the fact that they're bringing Montreal. I love that track. Although I don't think I've ever really raced the new layout of it. It'd be interesting to see which layout it is. Abu Dhabi, great. Hopefully, with that, they will have the different layouts available of that as well, because there are so many variations of that circuit. that are available. It would be a travesty if they've only got the GP circuit. Also, allow us to do reverse races on every track, because Red Bull Ring is bloody brilliant the wrong way around. Right, I think on that, Ray, I'm going to say thank you for joining us on commentary, and in a second we'll do the conference race of the championship standards. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Thank you to the drivers racing this season, especially with the no boosting. Maybe a lap down or not racing against people and just doing. It feels like they're just doing lap times and laps and laps with nothing. But no, thank you. Everybody's doing great, and it's nice to see people. There's more consistency we're seeing, so it's a positive we're seeing from the drivers, and even reports are down, I would say.
Well, they are, but I mean that's because everybody, or at least the pack, isn't bunched up, are they? I mean, the only thing is, I would say to all the drivers, everything you learn from this championship and from the last championship, actually, take that going forward. If we do boost races again, just because you've got boost doesn't, like, if you've got boost and you're steaming it behind someone else who had boost and they've not gone any further forward, it doesn't mean that you're just going to rock up and pass everybody. So yeah, but anyway, it's been good so far. We'll see how the rest of the championship goes. We'll see if Conrad may be able to not just do another comeback in the races, but maybe do a comeback in the championship standings. It should be interesting to see how close he is now to the top.
And thank you to the admins and the media person.
Whoever that is. Right, thank you, Ray. See you in a bit.
Ta-da!
Now, before we do take a look at the conference from standards, we can now discuss the report that was placed. So I'll go through that quickly. I'll try word for word what the stewards put. So, stewards report from race 4 at 10:43 of the race. Jason goes to take the inside line late into the corner and bumps into me to make the move. This report being from Harper. The steward's view, Artpal was slightly late in turning in for the corner, which created space for Jason to try and move up the inside. Artpal moved back towards the apex halfway through the corner, at which point Jason started to draw alongside. Contact resulted in Artpal getting sideways and losing the place to Jason. So contact resulted in Artpal getting sideways and losing place to Jason. From the footage reviewed, Jason's car appeared to be lagging at the time, but it is not known if this was a contributing factor. Now, the steward's verdict is as follows. A unanimous agreement could not be reached, so no penalty can be given. The stewards agreed that both drivers could have done more to avoid contact in this situation. Artpal could have left a little more space for Jason after running slightly wide, but Jason only started to draw alongside very late, after Artpal had started to move back towards the apex, so Jason could have backed out. However, the stewards could not come to a unanimous agreement on who was predominantly to blame, and whether or not a penalty was warranted. As with similar situations in the past, this means a penalty cannot be applied. So that's the end of the steward's report. Just to touch on that, to maybe try and put it in simpler terms, when it comes to the stewards giving a penalty or not a penalty, we have to all be in agreement. We can have disagreements about it, but we all in the end have to be in agreement that a penalty should or shouldn't be applied. And we have had it before when there's been different views and those views can't be changed, and that's what's happened here. So we've had a couple of the stewards thinking that it should be a penalty and a couple of the stewards thinking otherwise, and in that situation where a decision can't be agreed upon, then no penalty can be applied. So yeah, I think in many respects it depends on how people view an incident at a time. I mean, the footage of the incident will have been shown while this is on. I'll keep it going a little bit, and you, the drivers and viewers, may have different views as well. Just to touch on a comment that was made in the steward's report, though, where it said, okay, Jason's car appeared to be lagging at the time, but it's not known if this was a contributing factor. So just to clarify on that, if a penalty had been decided to be given, and Jason was able to provide his video footage that showed that there was no contact, then a penalty would still be applied, because although on Jason's footage nothing may have happened, his car would have made contact with a competitor's car and potentially an unfair overtake. So someone having lag doesn't not get away with a penalty, but having lag is not cause for not receiving a penalty. So just try and put it that way. Okay, right, that's the report done with. So let's take a look then at the confirmed race result and the championship standings. So Conrad then taking the victory, the maximum at 20 points, with Demon R in second place, taking 17. SGP in third on 15 points, and then Steve F1 in fourth, taking 13 points. SRI in fifth place, scores 12 points, with Jason in sixth on 11, Artpal in seventh on 10, and Formula Gary in eighth on 9, with Twilight in ninth on 8 points. Excuse me, and as we mentioned, a few of the drivers unable to make today's race. Hopefully they will all be able to return for next week, although Critical has let us know he may struggle to make the next couple of races. Okay, let's take a look then at what that has done to the championship standings. So after 4 races, Demon R retakes the lead of the championship without actually having won a race yet. He's now 2 points ahead of Steve F1, who has a 5-point gap to SGP and Conrad, actually. So SGP and Conrad tied in third place, both on 61 points. So Conrad really has got himself back into the championship fight on this one. A little bit of a gap then back to SRI, who is in 5th place on 47 points. He's got a 1-point gap over Jason. We've then got Artpal in 7th place on 38 points, with Twilight in 8th place on 30 points. Then we've got Formula Gary on 26 points, and he's followed by the tied Nelly and Jimmy, both on 18 points, with Critical only 1 point behind them. 6 more points, we'll see Rich Blues, and then we've got Almighty Nash, which is Bob and Hay, who are yet to make it to the racetrack. And funnily enough, since we moved to Mondays, Bob, who is Almighty Nash, did say, oh, Mondays work better for me, and since then he's only been able to make 1 race. But that's the way life goes sometimes. Okay, next up, as we mentioned, is Watkins Glen. It's going to be a tough one. It could be a bit of a sweaty one for the drivers, because although there's some long straights, there's some treacherous corners after them, so it could be a non-stop pressure race. You know what to do. Hit like, subscribe, smash that notifications bell, and we'll see you all again soon.